Security Now Illustrated by AskMisterWizard.com, illustrating concepts, mechanisms, and algorithms from the amazing Security Now podcast by Steve Gibson and Leo LaPorte. Episode 26, How the Internet Works, Part 2. Segment 105, Prerequisite Definitions. Security Now episode 26 from back in February of 2006 was the second in a three-part series on how the Internet works. The prior episode, number 25, described the amazing history of the Internet's development. It explained the fundamental breakthrough of packet switching as the superior alternative to circuit switching, and then described the formatting, addressing, routing, and expiring of packets, and use of the Internet Control Message Protocol, or ICMP, to manage and troubleshoot packet flow. It made extensive use of a simple diagram illustrating the general format of the standard packet header that is found at the very beginning of every Internet packet. If you haven't seen episode 25 of our Security Now Illustrated series, you really should watch that one first, because this episode builds upon that foundation. Steve used episode 26 to teach some new vocabulary, and accordingly, it's important that we start off with definitions of the following terms. Communicating process. That's a computer program or a program segment running somewhere on a network that sends messages to or receives messages from some other program or program segment somewhere else on the network. Note that any single network computer may be running more than one communicating process. Another definition, transport protocol. This is a gentleman's agreement defining all of the details by which data can be moved from one communicating process to another. These agreements define the means by which communicating processes identify one another, the means by which processes determine when to commence or when to end a communicating session, the means by which any network-related errors may be identified and overcome, etc. Internet programmers are free to design new transport protocols when necessary, but two specific transport protocols, meeting most needs, have become well known and standardized. And Steve provides details of each of those in the next two segments of this episode 26. Another definition, service. This is a communicating process that's constantly listening on the network in order to answer queries or provide appropriate data or to manipulate hardware. Another definition, server. This is a computer hosting at least one service. For example, a computer hosting the well-known DNS or domain name service might be called a DNS server. Note that it is commonplace for a single server to host more than one service. Another definition, client. This is the opposite of a corresponding service, where services answer queries, clients issue queries.
There's a bit of a confusing terminology with servers and services because Unix guys have talk about servers as being processes running in the system, but it's easy to confuse that with like a physical server machine where you'd have three servers that are physical boxes as opposed to three services running in the system. So I'm going to try to say service when that's what I mean.
To see the other segments and related resources for this episode, please join us at AskMisterWizard.com. Select Security Now from the prominent section index at the top of the homepage. Choose an episode from the index at the bottom, and then select a segment from the resulting page. The original audio-only version of this podcast can be found on the Gibson Research Corporation site at grc.com/securitynow. This clip illustrates some of the highlights from that show. This video clip comes from a large collection of related clips. All are indexed and easy to find at www.askmisterwizard.com, along with related items, text articles, illustrations, and forums. Please visit us today. We appreciate your support. Thank you.